The gladiators of ancient Rome. Men who fought often to the death for the entertainment of others. These fighters, who were slaves, prisoners of war, or even volunteers, represent a complex interplay of life, death, honor, and spectacle. We will delve into the world of gladiators, exploring their origins, lives, societal roles, and the lasting legacy they have left on the world. The inception of gladiatorial games can be traced back to the Etruscan civilization, from whom the Romans inherited the practice. Initially, these combats were part of funeral rites designed to provide blood sacrifices to accompany the dead into the afterlife. As Rome grew from a small city-state to a powerful empire, these private rituals transformed into public spectacles that served social, political, and economic functions within Roman society. The life of a gladiator. The life of a gladiator in ancient Rome was a blend of brutal reality, strict discipline, and, for a fortunate few, unexpected glory. These men, and sometimes women, were often drawn into the world of gladiatorial combat through varied paths. Their lives were governed by the rigorous demands of training, the harsh conditions of their living quarters, and the constant shadow of mortal combat. Despite the perilous nature of their existence, the allure of fame, wealth, and even freedom could drive a gladiator to embrace this perilous profession. Training and discipline. Gladiators were trained in special schools known as Ludi Gladiatorii. The largest and most famous of these was the Ludus Magnus, located in Rome itself, close to the Colosseum. Training was overseen by a lanista, who was part manager, part trainer, and part owner. The regimen was harsh and exhaustive, designed not only to build physical strength and combat skills, but also to instill discipline and resilience. Gladiators specialized in various fighting styles, each requiring mastery of specific weapons and tactics, reflective of the diverse categories of gladiatorial combat, such as the heavily armored Murmillo, the nimble Retiarius, or the Thracian, armed with a sicca, a curved sword, and a small round shield. Life within the ludus was structured and strict. Gladiators lived, trained, and sometimes died within its confines. Despite their potential for fame and adulation in the arena, gladiators were considered infamous, literally without fame, and were placed on the fringes of society. Their diet was surprisingly rich in carbohydrates, designed to build a layer of fat that would protect vital organs from superficial sword cuts. For a gladiator, the arena was the stage upon which their fate would unfold. Combat was a spectacle, attended by thousands, from the lowest classes to the highest echelons of Roman society, including the emperor himself. Matches were often fought to first blood, surrender, or death, depending on the type of combat and the whims of the sponsor. A gladiator's victory could earn them immense fame, riches, and, in rare cases, freedom, symbolized by the rudis, a wooden sword granted as a sign of discharge from their servitude. Despite the grim prospects, some gladiators embraced their roles, driven by the prospect of glory, the adulation of the masses, or simply the will to survive and transcend their origins. The life of a gladiator was a constant balance between the honor of the arena and the shadow of death that loomed over every combat. Not all gladiators died in the arena. Those who survived their terms of service, or who were granted freedom due to their prowess, could become trainers themselves or even enjoy a quiet retirement. However, the scars of their battles, both physical and psychological, remained with them. For those who fell in combat, their bodies were removed through the Porta Labitinensis, the gate of death, and they were often given a proper burial, funded by their lanista or a benevolent sponsor. Gladiators occupied a paradoxical position within Roman culture. While they were slaves and considered socially inferior, successful gladiators enjoyed fame, wealth, and sometimes even the adoration of the masses. They were symbols of Rome's martial virtues and the empire's power, yet their lives and deaths also served as reminders of Rome's capacity for cruelty and excess. The decline of the gladiatorial games was gradual, influenced by economic pressures, military needs, and a shift in societal values, particularly with the rise of Christianity. By the 5th century, the games had become unsustainable and were increasingly viewed as incompatible with Christian doctrine, leading to their prohibition by Emperor Honorius in 404 CE. The fascination with gladiators has not waned in the centuries since the last gladiatorial games were held. They continue to inspire modern sports, movies, and literature, serving as enduring symbols of strength, courage, and the human capacity for both violence and compassion. Films like Gladiator from 2000 have rekindled interest in these ancient warriors, reflecting contemporary society's continued struggle with many of the same themes that fascinated the Romans: justice, power, and the spectacle of combat. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, feel free to leave a like or subscribe. See you next time.